Hi, thanks for stopping by to watch this 10-minute video that I've created for you. My name is Joanna Shandro, and I live way up north in Alberta, Canada. As a psychologist in private practice for 40-ish some years, I've really been privileged to witness and support people getting unstuck from a myriad of life's challenges. And instead of retiring completely, I decided to transition into coaching online. And in preparation for that, I thought, what's one thing that really is a key thing that would be helpful for people to work with to get them unstuck before they get stuck? And it's something that I got caught in myself, and it's what I call the grind cycle. It's when we just keep doing and doing and doing and fixing this and changing this and planning that and organizing this and making this happen and so on. And not that any of that's bad, it's just that sometimes we get caught in it. I know I did between, kids and work and family and parents and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot. And so I don't know if you can relate to that, but I'm guessing you can. So that's why I created this little brochure that I'm going over, this little resource that I'm going through, is to give people some ideas, just some first steps in getting off that proverbial hamster wheel. So let's take a look at one of them. There we go. So a key concept that I want to highlight on this page is life is a screen, mind is a projector. If in your life things are really stuck and kind of topsy-turvy, that means that things are kind of stuck and topsy-turvy in your mind, because what goes on the mind gets projected into our life. So one of the key things is going to be to look at our mind. Quite often we get caught up in trying to change things at the level of the problem. But at some point, we need to go back into our mind and look at our thinking and adjust our thinking. Okay. So the next thing I invite you to look at is just kind of focus on this chart here. This is what I call the grind cycle. And if we start at the left-hand side at the life problems, that's typically because those are the ones that get our attention. And that's where we start doing and pushing and trying to fix them and try this and try that and go here and do that and da 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 da. And if it works within a couple of weeks, it's fine, not a problem. We can all stand to grind for a couple of weeks, but if it doesn't work, it just gets caught there, then that grinding eventually leads to stress. And the nervous system gets stressed, and we're just, almost anxious, kind of hyper all the time and worried and that kind of stuff, uptight. Okay. And then eventually that stress turns into mind fatigue. The mind can't focus properly, can't think well, and then that also, because the mind's a projector, that gets projected into our life, and then things just continue staying stuck or even get worse sometimes. And if you're caught in this grind cycle, then you adhere to that old expression, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And to to a fault. Okay. So when we're trying to get out of this, to stop grinding, the first place we have to do, the first place to intervene is between the grind and the stress. So we need to step in right there, and we need to say, enough. Just stop. Just stop. Push pause, push stop, whatever you want to think. And then we have to shift gears. Okay. So we push stop, we push pause, and we do that big exhale. It's like carrying a big heavy box and you put it down and then, oh, okay, finally, finally, okay. And then ideally, we start doing what we can to deal with the stress. One of the most effective ways to offload stress is through this box breathing. It will shift your nervous system from being caught in fight or flight, which is where we're at when we're busy doing and deadlines and all that stuff, scurrying around. and shift us into more the rest and the digest. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's where we can just breathe. Okay, calm down. So the pattern's very simple. You just breathe in through the nose for the count of 4. And then you hold it in, 2, 3, 4. And you breathe it out with a sigh through your mouth. Ah. And you breathe out, or hold it out, sorry, for a count of 4. Good. And so a simple exercise you can do is think about the grind thing that you're working on, the thing that you're working on that's stuck, and then let that go. And then come and do about 4 of these breaths. Just focus on breathing in, holding, sighing it out, and relaxing. And then after you've done 4 just nice, slow, easy revolutions of the box breathing, then go back and think about that issue again that you've been grinding about and notice how it feels now. So you think about it before you do the breathing. This is just an experiment, right? You think about it. Notice how upsetting it feels. Like, is it just low, medium, or high as far as upsetting? Like if your stomach's in a knot, it's high, right? And then do the breathing. Just nice, take your time, nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Hold, sigh it out. And then go back and think about that again, about the same issue. And notice, it's quite likely, I mean, maybe nothing changes, but it's quite likely if it was high, it went to medium. And if it was medium, it down regulated into low. So even though nothing changed outside, it feels different. Okay. And so know that just that calming effect of this breathing also gives your mind a chance to calm down and just settle. And so it doesn't take long for it to come back online. So it calms down, it settles, and then you can think more clearly, focus better, and just take some time to just be. Okay. The next step is to start to know the difference between what I call your inner doer and your inner beer. We all have pairs of complementary pairs of opposites inside in our personality. And so one pair is this doer versus beer. And like I said earlier, the doer is the one that fixes and solves and gets things happening and gets things done. The beer is the one that is more present, that makes time to rest and recharge and reflect and just be here now. Okay? So here's the key. Both are important. All right? Both are needed. And the only problem is if we get stuck in this case, if we get stuck in that do, go, go, go stuff, we eventually get lopsided and out of balance and we come more that what I call that human doing. The ideal is that we flow between doing and being and back to doing and being, because that is sustainable for a whole lifetime. There's no burnout involved with that. Okay? So it's like that old song. Remember that doobie doobie doo? That's a secret to maintaining a wonderful balanced life. Because when we get unbalanced, mentally, our projector gets out of whack. And if the projector is out of whack, our life is out of whack. Okay? It's just how it works. It's not even personal. So here's a little simple exercise. I'd invite you just to do it for a minute. Just grab a pen and a piece of paper if you have it handy. And just take, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 seconds just to jot down, describe yourself. Who are you? You know, I'm a this, I'm a teacher, I'm a woman, I'm a whatever you want to write down. So just, I'm a this, describe yourself. If you were going to write some kind of bio, who are you? That's right. I'm going to just take a nice breath while you're doing that. Okay. Now, if you have three or four things written down, I'd like you to take a look and cross out any of them or that are maybe roles you play. You play the role of mother, they play the role of teacher, that kind of thing. Cross out any feelings, I'm a nervous person. Cross out any feeling statements. Cross out any just behavior statements. I'm a go-getter or something like that. Just cross that out. And I think what you'll find is that like likely all of them got crossed out. Now maybe there's still one or two. But what this is the problem is we take our I amness, who I am, and we connect it with what I do. Okay. And that's part of how we get stuck. We've identified as doers. And so part of getting back in balance and getting and re-accessing our beer part, it's to get disidentified with doing. And so it's what it suggests here is to, or what I've suggested here is to do your best to never put a doing thing behind the phrase I am. So if somebody says, well, what do you do? Instead of saying, well, I'm a teacher, you just say, I teach high school or I teach elementary. If someone says, well, how are you feeling today? Instead of saying, well, I am sad, it's like, really? You're an emotion? That's who you are? Like, it doesn't even make sense when you think about it. But instead of saying, well, I'm sad, just say, well, part of me is sad today, and other parts are okay. Because it is just a part. It's not who you are, it's what's happening. Okay? So there's what's happening or what you do, and then there's who you are. And just this little trick of languaging things differently creates a bit of space, which is a little opening for you to start accessing that beer, okay? Who you are. And then you're able to start balancing that, get back to balancing that with being, doing with being throughout the day, ideally. Okay. So if any of this has resonated with you, if you can identify yourself as being caught in that grind cycle and really want to get off that hamster wheel, then please do give me a call. Just, if you have any questions about what I've said or you want a little bit more information about it, just click that button at the bottom and it'll take you to a page, which if you just scroll down, you'll find a calendar there and just book some time with me. I'd be delighted to chat with you. And I mean, there's way more to this than what I've given you. I've just given you a couple of things to think about to start that process of being free from the grind cycle. Okay. So when we chat, it's free. It's no pressure, no high sales stuff. I'm not into that kind of stuff. What I am into is offering help to anybody, my help and support to anyone who needs it, who wants it. Because sometimes it's difficult to just shift out of stuff that's been really stuck for a long, long time. You almost need someone to kind of hang onto your hand or be a cheerleader to, to help you get out. So you don't have to do this alone. I'm here and I'd be most delighted to just chat with you and see if maybe I might be a person that you would like to have on your team. Anyway, take care. Blessings to you and your family. And that's all for now. Bye.